So let's talk about these so-called free houses that cost $1. Yeah, newsflash, nothing about that is free. Walk into Dollar Tree and start grabbing stuff without paying. Where do you end up? Straight in jail. Because $1 is still not free. But here's Tiffany, out here telling folks a free house costs $1. And honestly, that's the part that blows my mind. Tiffany, you're flat out terrible at your job. Maybe that's why you only lasted 4 years. Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. Smash that like button, hit subscribe, share this video, and definitely drop a comment below to let me know what you think. I'm sitting here today in my little green circle, rocking all green. Let me know, do y'all like the circle? You do? No? Okay, whatever. Anyway, let's dig into the archives because this right here is one of Tiffany's all-time great ideas. This was one of those brilliant plans that, of course, the trustees were just being so unreasonable about. Tiffany had this grand vision to give everyone in the town a free house. Yes, that's what she said. Don't look at me like that. She literally said it. Give me $1 and I'll give you a house. Her pitch was, there's a vacant house on this block and everybody on this block gets a house. Even though there's only one house and like 12 people. But her answer? Figured out. Tiffany had a dream, okay? In her mind, she was Martin Luther King Jr. If you've ever heard her deliver that speech, you'd swear she really believed she was him. She is the dream. She is Martin. According to Tiffany, that whole I have a dream speech, yeah, that was about her. That's how she sees it. And this so-called dream, it was supposed to go block by block, house by house. She said she was going to sell houses for $1, but there was a catch. You only had a few months, something like 6, to fix the entire thing up. But here's where it gets shady. Tiffany has a reputation for holding up paperwork and making it nearly impossible to get permits. So what happens then? You miss the deadline. You lose the house. And guess what? She forecloses it. And now it's hers. Let's be honest. That was probably her plan all along. And of course, we can't forget about Mr. Holmes. He was out here doing his thug dizzle, standing firm for his girl Tiffany, defending her no matter what, always ready to back her up. Except now, man is completely silent, docile, doesn't have a thing to say. She said it loud and clear. If they're not going to give us anything, then we're not going to go with it, period. So all this talking, pointless. She made it crystal clear. If we're not getting any money, then we're not moving forward with the land bank. That was the bottom line. Oh my God. Now suddenly it's, y'all need to include us. Y'all need to come to my house. Like what? She's saying, you need to drag me out by my ankles, sit me down in a chair and tie me up because I'm not going to want to stay. And apparently, that's Keith's responsibility now. Yeah, those are his responsibilities. Oh my God, Tiffany. And now she's out here calling them secret squirrel meetings, acting like she didn't know they were happening. Like she hasn't been knowing all along. Girl, please. Oh, I can answer both of those last questions. Who's eligible for the lottery? Tiffany. Who's running the lottery? Tiffany. Who's in charge of literally everything tied to this? Tiffany. Yep, Brittany, it's Tiffany. This whole thing is Tiffany's bag. We're talking about her project. So, of course, she's going to be running the whole thing. Just letting you know. You said we weren't receiving anything. Well, guess what? We're not. We're saying, hey, before we go ahead and approve something that has no solid information behind it, let's pause. Because once we vote on this program, we become legally responsible for whatever happens. And when something goes wrong, the first thing people say is, well, the trustees voted for it. So we're just trying to make sure there's an actual, concrete plan in place before moving forward. That's called being responsible. Yes, that's the point. Now, as far as everything else, when we finally do decide to move forward with anything involving the land bank, we already told the residents who called after the housing meeting that we'll be transparent. We'll give them all the information. But at least with the land bank owning the homes, there's some control. Things can be managed. That's our biggest issue right now. We want to make sure everything's being handled the right way. and that we're not taking on liability we don't have to. At least not until we find a program that's actually functional and flexible. There you go. Thank you. Exactly. That's what needed to be said. So, for the record, there it is. That right there, that's how people are supposed to communicate. I know, shocking. But when someone says something, especially if they're passionate about it, you don't interrupt and say, "Are you done yet?" You wait. Then you say, "Okay, so what I'm hearing you say is," and you repeat it back the way you understood it. That's how you get clarity. That's how real communication happens. Understand what the other person is trying to say and making sure they understand you. It's great. That's actually the right way to do it. Now, let's see if Tiffany is really doing that, or if she's just being a jerk like usual. And honestly, my guess? She's just being a jerk, because she always is. But hey, let's give her a chance, right? Because here comes the part where she's like, "Y'all voted for the land bank," which they did, and I'll show y'all in a second. There was no detail, no background, nothing. They voted on a blanket agreement between them and the land bank with zero roots. No structure. Now, Tiffany's acting like she's just asking a simple question. But what she's really saying is that she heard Brittany admit they voted on something without any information and with no communication. That right there just proves she hasn't been paying attention at all. This is diabolical. I can't believe she was in my neck of the woods. Yeah, my neck of the woods, just hanging out in Atlanta, Georgia, for Memorial Day weekend. And I know exactly where she was. I used Google Earth. Y'all, I literally found the exact spot she was standing in that photo. I've gotten really good at Google Earth, like too good at this point. Now, for something similar, but I actually have receipts. I've got a whole sheet of paper right here, and anyone can get this information. It's about the block-by-block program, the so-called free houses, which are $1. Yeah, for some of these free houses that cost $1. But let's be real, $1 is not free. If you walk into Dollar Tree and just start grabbing stuff, guess what? You're going to jail. Why? Because $1 ain't free. That's Tiffany's line. The free house is $1. And that's the part that gets me. Like, girl, what? $1 is $1. You can't just take something that costs $1 and call it free. You steal that dollar house, you're going to jail for theft, period. And now y'all voted for this lady after she literally said, and I quote, "She is not giving us a dime," but y'all still voted for her. Do you see what I'm saying? She straight up said, "I ain't giving you a dime," and y'all still co-signed that? And now you're quoting her saying that? That's wild. Because if she didn't say that and you're out here saying, I quote, then that's a lawsuit waiting to happen. You can't just throw fake quotes on people, especially when they said something completely different. You can't clip her words, twist them, and then say, I quote, and now y'all went back to the table telling her, okay, let's work something out. Maybe we'll get some money for it. But when it comes to programs meant for residents, not land banks, not outside investors, for the actual people who live here, y'all won't even let me start that kind of program. Meanwhile, the land bank got the green light. Y'all gave them a whole setup to get going. But me? Crickets. Silence. And don't act like you didn't vote to let her do it. You did. You thought she was going to bring you actual information about how this program works. Details, numbers, expectations, all of that. But she refused. She refused to give you all the info. And then the whole thing just sat there, stuck, dead in the water. If you made it this far, drop an 8 in the comments, so I know you're a real one. I see you. I appreciate you. Mama loves you. Peace.